Hey everyone, this is Chris. Sorry if I sound kind of weird. I'm gonna do my best. I've been sick for a while, but I'm feeling pretty good. But I sound terrible. But anyway, today I wanted to show you guys Chinese multiplication. It's called usually, uh, and this is something I saw a teacher present and use with um, a couple of students who are in middle school, but really have a hard time with multiplication. And this makes it so they have a hard time keeping up with their middle school math because they take a lot of time to do multiplication that most students have down by now. And so the Chinese line multiplication is just the next step. First, on tests they were presented with like multiplication charts so they could use those to help the system. And the next step in their progression was to use this method. That way, they're still doing the multiplication; they're just not doing the algorithm. Um, and so the way this works is grouping, and so there are other similar ways to do this, but I'll show you the line method. So you take a number like 23 times 12, and the first thing I'm going to do is write out the 2, so let me, hang on a second, sorry. Okay, so here's the 2. So for the 2, I'm going to write 2 lines like so. Sorry, my lines are going to be all wonky, but I don't think that'll, hold on, I'm going to make them a little nicer than that, sorry. There we go, I can do it. Okay. And then for the 3, we're going to make lines facing this, or headed the same direction, but just kind of separated. And this is where the idea of grouping kind of comes in. Now, we're going to be multiplying 23, the 2 and the 3, by 12. And so when we write these lines, we're going to be kind of cross-hatching them. And so for the 1, we'll just put a long line here. And then for the 2, we'll put 2 lines here. Okay? So now, here's the tricky part. Here's where it gets a little weird. But the first thing we're going to do, let me grab another color, is group them by their position. So we're going to go with the furthest one on the right side, and then the furthest one on the left side, and sort of go in. So first I'll go with one on the right side, and you can see there's a group here that this one really isn't a part of because you've got the green ones times the blue ones, which is the 2 and the 3. And so if we just kind of separate those, for kids that struggle with math, instead of multiplying that out, you can just count the different cross sections. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to take that 6 and we're going to place it right here. So now the next section, we'll go ahead and go to the left, just so the middle can be kind of tricky. So we'll go to the left just so it's easier to see. So there's one further, like furthest left group, and that's the red and the black. It's the 2 times the 1. And so we will go ahead and grab that like so and count the cross sections, so 1 and 2. So we'll put our 2 here. And now, so what we have left are the 2 middle sections here and here. And we're going to do those together because they're both the second tier, I guess. And so we're going to go ahead and count those together. And so we'll just pick a different color here. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our answer here should be 276. Man, my MS Paint skills are off, but we'll go ahead and see if this is right. Let me open the calculator right quick. So 23 times 12, 276. Cool. And this works for any number of digits. It gets a little more difficult the more digits you use. I'll try to do a 3-digit one here, although I'm not sure how well I'll do just because I'm not going to draw very well on this. But we'll do 112 times 22. And the smaller the numbers you keep, the easier it is. Like if I had like 88 times 65, you can do it. You just have to be real precise with your drawing, and then the drawing typically needs to be a little bigger because you have to see. There are so many lines in there that you kind of have to see which ones are grouped. Um, so the first thing I do again is I'm going to start with the 1 here. So I'll draw one line like so. And then our second group, we've got a 1 here. I'll draw another one off over here. And then our third grouping, we've got a 2. I'll draw 2 here. Multiplying that number by 22, so the first one is a 2. So again, because we're cross-hatching them, just to show the groups, I'll draw 2 lines here. The lines are close. Sorry, there we go. And then, excuse me. And then we'll draw 2 lines again. 1 here and 1 here. So now again we're going to start from the outermost piece. And so, another color, sorry. Another color, having a big difference. So it's these 4 here. So this is part of like the second tier. This is the furthest right grouping. So we're going to go ahead and group those. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll hold 4 there. And then we'll go over to the left. On the left, we've got these 2 here that are off with those left by themselves. And so grab these 2, 1, 2. Okay. And then the next grouping, if you can, it's kind of hard to see, but in the second tier, it's this and this. So it would look, the line would look something like this. And then these 2 are part of the second tier from the right side. So like when we come over 1 tier, from here to here, if you notice, you only have like one crosshatch from each group. So like these purple lines here, the 2, we would have these cross sections. We wouldn't have these also because it's part of a separate grouping. But we can have one set of these blue and red ones, but we can't have the blue and green ones as well. So we'll count the purple and black and the blue and maroon or whatever color it is. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go ahead and write the 4 here. So now for the third set, you can see what's left. And you can go from the right or go from the left. The third tier from the left, or the second tier from the right. But you can see it's 1 grouping of green and blue and 1 grouping of purple and red. So again, like if we had the grouping of purple and red here, we wouldn't also put the grouping of purple and black in there because they're both purple, so they're separate groups. They're separate groups of purple. So we'll go ahead and count what's left here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our answer should be 2,464. Get my handy dandy calculator out. So we have 112 times 22. There you go, 2,464. So again, when you learn this kind of thing, and if I were teaching this to a class, I probably wouldn't jump right into a 3-digit number because it does kind of get confusing on where the tiers are. But it's a little easier to see when you've got 2-digit numbers that you're multiplying, and you can kind of see the groupings that are happening. And that's really what we're doing with multiplication anyway. Is we all heard it before. If you've got 6 times 4, you've got 6 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 6. And that's really the same concept that's going on here. It's easier for some visual learners to see it like this. And it's been kind of cool to see transition for some of these students in particular from having to depend on the multiplication chart to using this, because I think eventually because of this they'll be able to recognize familiar problems and indirectly memorize multiplication tables, which is what a lot of their peers are already doing. So yeah, I'm a very visual learner, and so I think this was really cool. I thought this was really cool. I wanted to present this to everybody. So thank you again, guys, and I'm sorry it's late, and I'm sorry I sound terrible, I'm sure. But I will see you guys on the internet.